because the business has really taken a beating, in the last 7 years. So that's why I'm back into the Nylon girls.
Right.
I got two other things I want to talk about very briefly. But I loved when my girlfriends would walk around in their lingerie.
Yeah.
And when I would shoot a movie for Adam and Eve, my favorite thing was when they were trying on wardrobe. Not the sex.
Right.
Because you can only watch so much sex. It's like watching someone else eat a steak dinner. If you don't have the dinner, you're going to lose your appetite.
Right.
Some of the best videos people enjoy are behind the scenes videos. The girls in the wardrobe room getting makeup done, trying on the wardrobe, getting out of it. I see a lot of traffic for, guys will say, I love behind the scenes videos. I want to see, they'll ask me when I do phone sex a lot of times, they'll talk about my porn experience. They're like, okay, so when you guys are like getting ready in the wardrobe, does like anyone start to get it on? Do the crew get hard? And there's just they have these fantasies.
Well, those are legitimate questions. Now, does that happen?
Yes.
Do you guys get it on? Does the crew get hard? I know the crew gets hard. I would imagine so.
Oh, yes, and yes.
Oh, okay.
Not
the crew
every
gets
time.
jaded a little.
Yes.
And they sort of have to be, or else they won't get the job done.
Sure.
But we call it behind the scenes BTS, it's known as.
Yes.
And some of my favorite things I ever shot were BTS,
right?
The movie. And like the last thing I did many, many years ago, I walked into the wardrobe room and I laid out all this wardrobe and I said, all right, you guys, try on this, try on that, take it off, put it on, and all of a sudden the hardcore broke out without any effort because they were turned on by the environment.
Right.
Those are the good old days, though. Those days are long gone.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know if I'll ever make a movie for Adam and Eve again, but I had a lovely history.
But you're a Hall of Famer.
I get on the phone and I call and try to get work.
Yeah.
And I'm ridiculously overqualified. They want like a company, Zero Tolerance. You've heard of Zero Tolerance. I've become friends with the guys who run it. They're a great group. And Quasar Man, one of the greatest gonzo shooters in the world,
right,
is a good friend of mine. And you should have him on this show.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can recommend him. And he's super busy. He's making a lot of money, but it's shrinking. The business is shrinking.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
And you know what they're doing? This is going to blow you away.
All right.
The company I just mentioned,
yeah.
I'm not going to put it in the same sentence, is now buying full-scale scenes for $150.
Oh.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, how do you make money?
It's revenue streams, like I say. I do
Exactly.
phone sex. I do sex work. I do video. I work for producers. I produce my own. I believe you know Kimber Haven. You went on her show that time, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it was great.
One of the things they do is they call it Bad Girl Mafia, is their production company down in Kentucky. They
right.
That's a great name.
It is a great name. And
they were so much fun, yeah.
At FetCon this year, every year they rent a house or a condo, whatever, and they invite all T-girls to come on, and also male talent, and they just live there over the weekend, and they shoot constantly.
Right.
Constantly
it must be a blast.
Scenes and gangbangs and
the whole
9 yards.
deal. Yeah.
Right.
I saw one of the videos they shot, and they're in the one room shooting, and in the background you can see two girls in the pool doing it. But long story short is they self-produce that, and they do it all on trade content. So that way, like for example, when I shot for Groovy a couple weeks ago, I have no rights to any of the footage.
Right.
I got paid, it's gone.
Yeah.
What the Bad Girl Mafia does is their model is it's totally trade work. You get to walk away with your content. You walk away with the content.
What that's called TFP?
Yes, trade for print. Trade
TFP.
shoots.
Okay.
And the thing is that you own it forever, and then you distribute it however you want on a clip site or your own website or your OnlyFans. And that's one of the ways we're making it is you try and find all of these revenue streams to get a little money here and there. One night I'm doing phone sex, I'm making money. Another night I'm doing sex work, and another night I'm producing my own films.
If I may jump in, what is going on in that business, the adult business, is the performers creating and owning their own content.
Yeah.
And then they can put it up on, what is it, fans only or many vids
There's
and
dozens
on
of
and
clip
on
sites.
and on.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm on
and
5 different clip sites.
yeah, exactly. And what it is that the diversity of distribution, whether you still might sell some DVDs, or you might be on mini-vids, or somebody at Groovy, right, pays you to perform, and you probably have 5 other income streams like the phone calls. And every person who's surviving in the adult is doing that. I am not a performer, never have been, never will be. So,
Damn it! I
well,
want.
just
I want.
clear
I
all
want
these microphones out of here and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I want.
Anyway,
I want to see.
ready?
I want to see you go to. I want to see you go to town, Daddy. Daddy's here now. Here's the thing. Last time you were on, it was funny because somebody
I
told
don't
me.
have a test though.
Somebody told me they're actually.
Still full, right?
Yeah, actually, it was. I think it was Nicole, our co-host at the time, was like, "Wow, he knows how to work that daddy thing."
Me?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Sugar daddy.
Do you think so? I don't know. It's not sugar daddy. He's
No,
just got
it's
that.
daddy. It's not sugar daddy.
No.
Sugar daddy.
No. But I mean, do you see how he's got that daddy game going on?
Got the daddy game.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Where do you get this confidence? Where do you get this daddy game?
Anyway, hey,
How do you go up to a young girl and because I'm always like
you want to
skittish going up to a young girl because I think I'm too old, but then
No.
Okay.
Statistically, and I'm kind of making this up, but it's been through my experience, 1 out of 5 women under 30 love older men.
That's what I'm saying, but
And all you have to do, it's a numbers game. You know, if we had 10 girls in here, I guarantee you 1 or 2 would be like after you and me and probably want to do you right here on this.
well, I think probably 3 or 4 out of the 5.
But
Kacy, yeah.
it's and that I guess might be called a fetish. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The daddy thing is a fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because what is funny, the term daddy has become more and more popular in pop culture.
Yeah.
You walk down, the street down and back, you'll run into 3 or 4 stars. Pink shirt, daddy.
Yeah.
It just is. It's kind of funny. It's all over. You don't see mommy.
Well, and in the incest porn world.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking about that when I was thinking about topics. Is because I was at the Adult Performers Action Committee the other night. And
Okay.
It's just like it sounds. It's an association of adult performers. But anyway, we were talking about like incest porn is one of the most requested porns. Now, of course,
why do you think that is?
Fantasy.
It's fantasy.
It's all
Really?
fantasy.
Everybody wants to bang their mother and father?
Now, we also have a debate we were talking about. We're not sure if there's a demand in this and there's a supply being created for it,
Right.
or if there's just so much supply right now that it's almost like that the producers are pumping it out, and that's actually
It
puffing
is
it up, so to
actually,
speak.
I think, the most popular form of porn is stepmom, stepdad. Stepdaughter.
Now, when you
whatever.
do it, when you do incest porn, are you usually the stepmom, or are you like the dad that kind of went another way,
Or you just drive the car.
you drive the car?
I do a
Little
lot
sister.
of the stepmom. For phone sex, for example, I get a lot of calls for the stepmom fantasy.
Ah.
I love this. We did a shoot. I love this little story. We did a shoot. We did it on Easter in a Vegas hotel room. Me
Okay.
and another T-girl and a trans man, so female to male.
Okay,
So we got 2 dicks and we got a vagina, but they're all mixed up on who they're on.
right.
And what we did was T-girl
That's
milfs take advantage of stepson. And so he basically did I was the aunt and Auntie Kacy. And then his stepmom goes to sleep and him and I start doing it in one bed, and then she wakes up. What's going on here? And then the fun ensues.
Yeah.
It's
That sounds like a good one.
Some sites don't allow you to sell faux incest porn. Even
Yeah,
if it's-
no, Adam and
but-
Eve is very strict about that.
There you go.
Yeah, they don't want to. Their own employees decide what they want to do or not, and then they have to bounce it off the lawyers.
Right.
And Phil Harvey, who owns PHE, he's a friend of mine. He's older. He's
got a lot of
millionaire.
friends.
A lot of friends, and
That's the business.
he it's a kind of I don't know how I'd put it. It's preventative. It's what they don't want to get somebody out of Louisiana with a hair up their ass and get sued for $25 million for obscenity. they will prevail. The case will. There's never really been more than one or two convictions in obscenity in like 30 years.
Right.
Supreme Court throws it all out.
Right.
But you will spend $1 million to defend it.
Sure.
Yeah, and you will prevail probably, but that's a lot of money. I know guys who got. There was a guy in town. Remember that? What was it? 2 girls in a cup. Remember that? It was about defecation, and it was completely disgusting.
Right.
And it was
that's a fetish.
It is, and it's a real fetish, and it was a big pop hit. But the guy who made it had to go. I believe he either made that or a similar porno. He had to spend $250,000,
right?
And he still went to jail for like 2 months.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it's like there are limits, but I'm not gonna. I love the United States. I'm not gonna tell anybody what they can and cannot watch.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's freedom of speech and expression.
That's one of the reasons a few years ago when in California there was someone pushing, it was Prop 60 at the time,
Oh,
60.
right.
Right.
Boy.
And that was almost a death knell for us because it would have given private citizens a right to sue for porn, adult films that showed porn without a condom.
Right.
And so we were like, because we just, all it takes is one private citizen to sue you, and they get your name and they get your address. You got to prove that.
What is amazing about that, though, was that the California voters voted it down.
Oh, it was tough.
It was, yeah, I know it was
a tough fight.
and it was Jimmy Kimmel even dealt with it on his show. I remember that. What's her name? Julia. What's the performer who headed the whole thing?
It's been a few years now.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I can't remember her name.
But
she should be on your show.
It was.
Well, you got all these friends. Help me out. But anyway,
one of the reasons it was difficult because the other side of the campaign that wanted to get it passed, they would say this was their pitch: say no to pornographers.
Right.
Think about what a easy appeal that is. So we fought against it. We fought it off.
Wasn't it the guy who ran the AIDS thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is whatever. I wanted to bring up some other things because
we're running out of time. But go ahead.
This is what's going on with me, real quick. I'm also producing a pilot for cable.
All right.
Called Black Widows, and it's about female felons who cut a deal with the CIA to do their dirty work, which is known as wet work.
Right.
That wet work is a term for when you...
Is this based on a true story?
I don't know. Maybe it is. And wet work is known as a crime that involves blood.
Right.
And I had never heard of the term till a couple of months ago. In the middle of shooting it, I got a huge famous producer just all over me on it. And we're micro budget. We're going to do the movie for under $50,000.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, because that's the new thing now. I have all these friends. Don't spend $250,000 on a movie. You're going to lose your house. That's the thing.
Well, you're right. Well, we had
I lost my house years ago.
We had Harley Wallen here last week. He did like four movies this year. He did. I was at his premiere for Eternal Code, which was a lower budget movie, but he's making money off it. That's how you make money.
That's the thing. With the new technology, as you know, I mean, look at this little camera you've got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is stunning. And now it's all 4K.
Right.
And I shoot in 4K now. I own a camera.
Right.
You can shoot 4K with an iPhone.
I know.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And I've seen a lot of really good-looking iPhone movies. When somebody really knows what they're doing.
Steven Soderbergh did an iPhone movie.
I know.
But Kacy, before we go, and I'm sorry.
I got one more thing.
I'm going to give me a second because we're going to get right back to you.
I'm going to blow your mind.
I know it's a fun-sized episode. I apologize. We know this guy's into women in nylons. What are you into?
Oh, what am I?
And you're real. I mean, I know you tell everybody what I'm into you, but in your private life, are you into men? Are you into women?
I'm pansexual.
You're pansexual.
My friend Jasmine LaFleur, she's a
I know Jasmine.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Everybody is fair game. It's, men.
Are you dominant? Are you submissive?
I'm more on the submissive side.
Okay.
Not in the dom subway, but just in a 50s kind of June Cleaver kind of way. That, just take it. I love how you
Who would have thought Kacy TGirl's a June Cleaver missionary sags kind of?
I do sugar daddy work where basically it's just like sex work, except he's your sugar daddy, and it's
Right.
almost like there's this little wall, which you don't call it what it is. And I love having a good sugar daddy who just wants to take me around
right.
and spend time and go.
That's
to
why I want to
clubs.
be a girl.
Yeah, we're gonna give all your information later. So all the sugar daddies listen
All right,
nationwide. Hold on, easy, Michael. All the sugar daddies nationwide. You're gonna get your chance. But before we do, Michael's got an announcement that's gonna blow our minds. You ready for this case?
Another drum roll.
I got hired. I've been writing off and on for years.
Right.
I'm actually a little bit like a junior Elmore Leonard. Not bad. I love the